This home-built pressure washer here, 15 horse 420cc Honda clone off AliExpress. Vevor rated at 4,400 PSI, 4 gallons a minute, but I had my gauge on it. It runs at about 3,400 and unloads at 4,000, which is about what I expected. You can adjust the unloader valve, but they have the lock nut pinned, so you'd have to drill the pin out to be able to actually adjust it. But the thing's so powerful it don't matter. And these are just some cheap extensions and stuff I had. This wand was off Amazon, or this nozzle was off Amazon. It works good. It's a Simpson 4.0 tip turbo nozzle, which works great. And I also have the 3.0 I've had for 10 years, and it still works great on my little pressure washer. Getting creative here for tip storage and stuff. Just a Tupperware thing screwed down to the wood, and this was just some 5/4 boards I had for years, never did nothing with it, and I just screwed them down to the frame with deck screws, and it worked out pretty well. This really irritated me. Nothing wrong with it as a reel. However, I hooked this thing up after I'd already tested the engine and pump once, knew it worked great, and running through the hose reel under here, it was acting all weird. It wouldn't, unloader valve wouldn't unload, and low pressure, and so finally I unhooked the hose and hooked it straight up to the pump, and it worked fine. Took this apart and found out it was like meant for like an air compressor reel. It just had a couple little 1/4-inch holes and real restrictive, so I took and hogged that thing out like nobody's business, and I'm just waiting on a real 3/8 whip hose to show up, because the hose it came with was phony. It was 5/16 and it necked down. It had a JIC hydraulic fitting, and I couldn't find one of those, so I took and put that in my mini lathe and cut the hydraulic fitting off, and drilled and tapped it for 3/8 pipe and put a quick connect on there. So right now what I've been doing is I'll hook it up here to reel it in and out, and then when I'm done I just hook it straight up to the pump. So once I get the hose I should be able to see if this actually works or not. And it's just a Vevor garden cart. Biggest thing about it is I always hated pushing regular pressure washers around because they're such a pain in the butt. This thing's heavy, and I'm going through gravel, no problem. And even though it looks big, because it is, from here to here, it's only about 3 inches longer than my Simpson pressure washer cart by the time you factor in the little bull bar on the front and then the handle on the back. And it took me about 10 minutes to do that whole entire pad that hadn't been done in 2 years. This crappy wood right here was gray when I got it. It was just some scraps they put underneath a load of lumber to get the forklift under it, and it stripped it right clean. This old pole barn, this paint's 45 years old, and my other pressure washer, it would never really touch the oxidation and dirt buildup it gets. I would have to scrub it by hand and then pressure wash it off. This thing, one swipe, like clean. So I got to paint this building this year, and that's gonna be a big help because it's like a 30 by 60. And yeah, very impressed. I only have about, I forget exactly, but it's about $500 into it, including the hose and the wand and all that stuff. And 10 years ago I paid $440 after tax for a 6.5 horse advertised 3100 PSI, but it only runs at 2800, 2.5 gallons a minute, and it's a good machine. But this thing is at least twice as fast, 2 to 3 times as fast for cleaning anything. And even with the white 40-degree tip, it just stripped everything off this barbecue that hadn't been cleaned in a few years either. Just tore it all off. So yeah, I'd say if you can build yourself a pressure washer, do it, because you'll get 3 times the machine for the money you can buy one for. And this Honda clone here, all I've done is put oil in it, and I changed out their crappy Torx spark plug and put a Denso in it that I had. And I haven't even changed the oil or nothing. I've just been running it. It just starts right up and runs fantastic. It's one of the best running small engines I've seen.